Hello YouTubers, Pepper from Canada. I want to give a new shot at people that know me know that I bought Bell's Great Machine Hub, and that thing is coupled with the KT blades. I've been experimenting with that for last 4 or 5 days. Before that, I was giving a try to the 5-blade set, but the small hub on my new turbine. Like I talked about this in my previous video, and that thing it's a monster. It weighs, if I remember correctly, it weighs around 28 pounds, something like that. So I went on and I built a bracket for it, and if you know this, I got a spring there that puts a tension on the tail, so that thing will furl. I'm hoping, because we don't have very much wind for the last week, but I hope it will furl out in maybe 28 to 30 miles. But to stay focused on the subject, I went on for the last week. I went on and I put the KT's blade on it, and I'm telling you, you're gonna see the cubs there. They're just starting to turn, and that thing with the delt out like that, like from the stop, it will start turning at around 3 miles an hour. But the thing is that in that generator there is 26 magnets, and it's just made like a Delco type. Like the stator is around, center shaft with magnets, with a big rotor. But that thing has the same cogging as my supercore has. You just have to go back in my previous video. I talk about the supercore. It did a great job. It's a big power producer. But the thing is, I try to follow the trends and what people post about their turbines and all that jazz. So the big new mentality is like the early stage of power output, and I have big mixed feeling about that, because you know, even that I put I did put my that is a power core, and that blade set is only 56 inches across, and those are my gold type blades. I don't know if anybody remember them, but I bought them in 2009, and because of all the debate around skinny blades and, you know, all the new trend of blades hitting the market, I forgot I got those, and I want to give a big shot to those blades, because they're wider, like up to halfway. They're the same width, and they tapered out with that gold type end there. Pretty effective. The only thing is they don't have the same torque as the KTs. The KTs in their design, they're pretty torquey, and when they're coupled with a big hub like that, holy cow! I'm telling you, it's astonishing, because that thing has cogging. Don't get me wrong; it's not an actual. It's not those different type. I know the HYEs have reputation to have no cogging or less cogging, but that thing has very much cogging. And around 6-7 miles an hour, it depends on the direction. And don't mind you that thing, I build my my head, my frame, to go on the same pole as the previous turbine bracket, so I can save in building different pole. And I omitted to calculate the weight of that turbine, and it's not free tracking. It takes around 10 miles an hour to push the turbine in the same direction as the wind to track good. So that's one flaw that I got on that turbine. The other one is just it's tracking so great, and when I have big turbulence, there's another issue with that. When the turbine track too light and try to chase the wind like that, it loses the momentum, you know. So that's a good thing in a sense, because you're always sure that your turbine is pointing to the wind, but it loses momentum when it tries to track the wind like that, and the blades they're losing their momentum, and you lost power anyway. So my point is, because I have a flaw for tracking, the momentum built with the hub, weight, and the blades, I observed that it's still more constant than this one. So I want to say that people that have turbine, I don't want to discredit anyone. Like the actual turbines, they're pretty great. They have their place. They have the reputation to turn freely and produce early. But I'd like to get a challenge to everyone. All the RE community, try to stay on an open mind when we got discussion, because I don't know if you look at my surrounding, but where I live in my area, from September up to December, and more likely January and February, we got temperatures like that. So the guys that are saying that solar is the way to go, and I don't disagree with them, but it's not part of the solution for me, because I got this for 3-4 months in a row. And look at this. By the way, the winds are averaging about 6-7 miles an hour today. But at that wind speed, I must say we'll go into the garage to just look at it. But I'm guessing it's around 4-6 amps in the battery. And As far as as far as that's my solar part here, but see, zero amps, 13.3, and that thing is a beast, and I see very good output from that. But let's go around and check the turbine. What is the turbine is doing? I have to put that in context, but 5 miles. Oh, 10 amps at 9 miles an hour. You see? So that thing, for me, my situation right now, today, or no, I'd say for the last week, every day, my turbine outdid big time what the solar gives. So, and mind you that all the iron, I got all the iron to build my my head. The turbine cost me $240. It was an auction on eBay. I had to fix 2 places in the stator that were grounded, but I managed to fix that with my friend Francis. The blade cost me 170, I think, back then. And the blade, the hub, I bought it separately, but that grade was asking $115 for that. So for the people that want to see early output, because it seems like to be a big trend lately, go and ask Daryl to buy his hub and put the Cadies on it. That thing has monstrous torque, and I mean monstrous, because I did an experimentation, and that thing around 70 RPM it started to produce in the batteries, but by starting to put power so early, it kills the momentum of the blade. So to overcome that factor, the resistance that sits in the battery, you need to have a behemoth of blade there, and that thing just do it. So but in the meantime, I by studying the behavior, I did an experiment. The output at the rectifier, I put a cap, the big cap that I got in my other videos, and I put that output in my tracer. Like I got an EP Solar 4250. It's good to handle 150 volts. And at 17 miles an hour, no, at 20 miles an hour, I did see 46 amps in the battery before it blew the whole thing apart. Like my EP Solar just burned out. So it was producing more than 7 700. That thing is supposed to be able to handle 760 volts, 760 watts at 12 volt, and it burned just the crap out of it. So that thing is pretty awesome. But let alone the MPPT, it's doing great, but not as great as when it was on the MPPT, because what the MPPT is doing, and I'm talking to everyone that owns that thing, just do an experiment. Even Orlando, I'm challenging Orlando to do the experiment. And it's not for discrediting anyone. It's just for education. So I have a shout out to everyone that have an axial flux that is attached to an MPPT, like the Midnight or the Outback or the Schneiders. Please guys, do a video and show the difference it makes to have any type of turbine hooked to an MPPT, because the MPPT, what it's doing, it lets the turbine to get the maximum TSR for the power output. Because when I hooked that on an MPPT at 5 miles an hour, I was seeing output. So it's and for the people that tried the experiment, try to unhook the MPPT out of your turbine, put an amp meter on the line, on the negative line, and show the output. Same wind speed, same turbine, just get the MPPT out of the equation, and I guarantee you will see at least 30%, but less in your battery. So that was my update for today. I got a couple of videos in the making, and I want to talk other things about the solar and the wind turbine. But a shout out to Belgrade Machine for his hub, genius. And on top of it, he sent me a hub balancer. That thing is on the notch for balance wise, so it's perfect. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate your hub. It's a behemoth for a power producer. So that's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching my video. Pepper signing out.